Hello, this is a quick tips and tricks video for new student registration for Park County School District number 6. We have the new student registration open and going for the 2025-2026 academic school year, and we just wanted to give you some tips and tricks that will help you be successful in registering your new students. The first thing we need to talk about is, what is a new student? A new student in our district is a student who has never attended school in our district before, or a student who previously attended our school district but then they left and now they're coming back. New students are not currently active in our systems. Current students are students who are currently active or who will finish the 24-25 school year with us in May 2025. For current students, the registration will be in July or August 2025, and we will send out more information on that when the time comes. Anyone else that is not currently enrolled would be considered a new student because your student is not currently active in our systems. So the first tip we have for you is to make sure you do the correct registration for the student you are registering. It can be really frustrating for families when we have to come back to you and say, "I'm sorry, you've done the wrong registration. Can you please do it again?" There are some changes we have to make in the registration from year to year, so we really need you to do the correct year's registration for the student that you are registering. In our current system, you will see when you log in that we have a new student registration open for the 24-25 school year. This registration is for students who still intend to enroll and start school in April or May 2025. We have the new student registration for 2025-2026. This is our kindergarten registration for students starting in August 2025, or for any other new students that will start school in August 2025, as well as anyone who will enroll at any point and start school at any point in the 2025-2026 school year. So, to reemphasize, it is really important that you make the right decision on which registration you are doing for the student you are registering. Once that's decided, and say in this example that I'm going to register a new kindergartner for August 2025, I would select the new student registration 25-26, which I have here. I have it started. So I'm going to click on that. When you first get in there, you will put the student's name in, and it will come up with this page with some instructions for you. I invite you to read all of the instructions just to make sure that you do the registration correctly. It gives some more tips for you. And then the first page or the first question is going to ask, what is your child's enrollment status with Park County School District number 6? There are 3 options. They are 1, new, never enrolled in Park 6, not currently enrolled, but they were previously enrolled, or they are a retained kindergartner that will repeat kindergarten again, or they are currently enrolled. And you'll see when you select these options what happens. So if I select the currently enrolled, as described, this is a new student registration, not a current registration. So this warning comes up and says, you're doing the wrong registration. Stop, and we will send more information in July 2025 or August 2025. If you select new, never enrolled, or not currently enrolled but was previously, or they're a retained kindergartner, you'll see that all of these pages come up, and you can click next to go through the pages and answer all the questions, and then you should be able to submit in the end. And then it's just going to go through and it's going to ask you all the questions. It'll ask you, it has some notes underneath. One thing to note is this required field. If a field is required, it will not let you submit at the very end until every single required field is entered. So make sure that you enter something for every single required field. So like in this instance, for my test, first name and last name for students are required, but not all students have a middle name. We would like you to enter their middle name if they have one, but if they do not, you don't have to put anything in that box. It will let you submit without it. And the same goes for everything as you see. You can see the required fields next to anything that is required. Okay. The next tip we have for you, do not click next until you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. That next field kind of hovers over fields. So you can see, like if I was right here, I might think I'm done. But I need to make sure I scroll all the way to the bottom before I hit next, as if you hit next too early, you'll miss fields and you'll have to go back and fix them before you can submit. So that's just something to keep in mind there. The next tip we have has to do with parents or guardians. So parents or guardians, on the main parent-guardian page, we have up to 4 parents or guardians for a student. If you guys have a situation where there are more actual parents or legal guardians for the student, you can let the school know for your student, and we can add more later. But 4 seem to be a good number as far as being able to catch the majority of situations for the families of students in our district. So, but if you're a situation where there is only one parent or legal guardian, only one parent or legal guardian is required. Now, please be thorough. If there are more than one, make sure you enter them. And as soon as you start to enter them, it's a smart form, so it registers and it says, hey, now that you have a first name, the last name is required. And then it's going to make sure that everything else starts to be required as soon as you put in more information. You can see all those fields start to become required. So make sure that you observe whether a field is required, but also make sure you enter really the true amount of parents or guardians that a student has. The other thing is, on this page, 1 phone number per parent is required. If you have an additional phone number, you can put it, but you can see an additional phone number is not required, but the primary phone number for that parent is. So keep that in mind. Parents or guardians versus emergency contacts. Emergency contacts, we ask for 1 person. This person should not be someone that's a parent or legal guardian. It needs to be somebody else in case, if there's a true emergency and we have called and called and called parents and guardians, we can't get a hold of anyone, who else can we call? Just 1 person is required. You can put up to 3, okay? The last tip I want to give you is the summary to help you navigate. The summary, it will identify for you the pages that have errors. So if it's red, there's an error and you need to go fix it before you can submit. See, the submit is grayed out on my page right now because I can't submit until all of these red fields are fixed. So I might have to click on, you can click on these and it will take you back to that page to fix it, or you can click over here. I would recommend using the sidebar at this time a lot to go back to the page and then go back to the summary instead of clicking next through every single page. But you're going to have to go back and fix everything before you can submit. One last tip for you, once you submit, you cannot come back in and edit. So say you need to go look up somebody's phone number and you're like, oh, I'll submit and I'll come back and fix it later. That won't work. You have to, you won't be able to edit as soon as you hit submit. So I get this a lot with families who want to come back and upload documents later. Once you hit submit, you won't be able to upload the document. So save it, exit your dashboard, and then come back and upload the documents if that's your situation, but don't hit submit. And document upload, we would love it if you could all submit the documents. It makes it easier for us in the long run. If you don't have a situation where you can upload documents, if you don't have a scanner or can't take pictures with your phone and upload them, then we would ask that you bring those to the school when your child starts school. For kindergartners, that may be, we might ask you to bring them in the week before, or so that we can collect those documents. That concludes our video at this time. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to the school district. We are happy to help, and we are excited to have your students start school with Park County School District number 6.